What if the secret to losing weight and keeping it off, gaining more energy, and reversing lifestyle disease symptoms was as simple as to stop dieting and return to eating real food? Hi, I'm Sherry Strong, and I'm the author of Return to Food, the Life-Changing Anti-Diet, and welcome to this little video on the Indiegogo book launch for this book. Most people by now know that we are suffering from an epidemic of lifestyle diseases, and there's many food films that are out now and coming out that are illuminating a problem that I've been educating people for over 20 years about what's actually happening to our food. So the problem is that people are deluged with information, so they're educated, but they're confused, and you couple that with nutritional marketing from powerful food companies in the food industry, and you end up with a massive nutritional confusion. This book is really to help you end nutritional confusion, because most teens are malnourished. The average teenager is eating 150 pounds of refined sugar, which is not only addictive, it's toxic to their body and will impact their quality of life and longevity. Because children, basically, what we fill their bodies with affects how they think, feel, behave. It affects who they are and who they become. And so we really need to get in there and educate families, individuals, children about returning to eating real food, because that is the solution. We are living in a state of obesity with literally an epidemic rise in weight gain, and not healthy weight gain. This is from toxic foods that are actually flooding the body with materials and components and substances that are creating an environment that's ripe for sickness and disease. I know, because I've actually been there. I've previously been twice my size, not 10'4", but I have actually suffered from obesity and all the ailments that actually come from it, and I was basically eating myself into an early grave. Every time I dieted, I gained more weight, and I realized not long after doubling my size that the solution wasn't dieting, and the solution was to just return to eating real food that nourished, energized, and protected the body. And since doing that, I've actually had an amazing transformation within my own life, not just in my body and losing, that weight, but the energy, the clarity, mental clarity, and the feeling of happiness that just automatically comes into your body when you're nourishing it. And that has led to the most amazing experiences working with the most amazing people in the world, including people like David Wolfe and Mariel Hemingway, who's actually written the foreword for the book. My goal in life is to teach future leaders to actually do the work that I'm doing. So Return to Food book tours, salons, cooking classes, lifestyle makeovers, and this book is really the beginning of that process. The book contains the information that I use to make that same transformation happen in many of my clients. Okay, people are dying because they don't know that disease, obesity, and environmental issues related to how we eat are on the rise exponentially, and we can actually turn it around with every single bite that we take. And it's not just about weight loss. Can I tell you that in my practice, and many of my colleagues' practice, we come across people with heart disease, diabetes, and cancer who are thin. So it's not just the obese that are at risk, and we really need to get that message out as well. We know that diets don't work. There are tons of messages that show us that. So if you would like to be part of a global movement and be part of this solution, even become the solution, as Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world, then I invite you to take a look at our Indiegogo campaign. This book has been 14 years in the making, and along with that, we have not just information, but we have concepts and strategies that actually help you take this information, apply it into your life, so that you can truly live the life you are meant to live. It's not about perfect eating, okay? This is another one of the illustrations I did in the book to emphasize that what this book is really about is to end this constant desire to be perfect, to end the diet yo-yo, and to start to develop a peaceful, loving, and healthy relationship with food, our body, and the environment. The philosophies I teach are the lethal recipe, nature's principle, the consumption concept, which I gave a TED talk in Tokyo in 2009 on, the replace principle, and pick your poisons. And people like Mark Hyman, Dr. Mark Hyman, have actually given great praise for nature's principle. He says, I love this. It's a very sensible approach to what we should be eating. So the goal is to get the word out, and I'd love to sell 1,000 books to get us started, to start to fund the Return to Food revolution. And it starts with the book, which turns into an 8-module program, which turns into a 10-module academy where I teach people to become Return to Food coaches. And through that, what I've always believed, that change is not going to come from the food industry, and it's not going to come from government. It's going to come from a grassroots movement of small, committed individuals that have strategic plans and take action to actually get us all to start returning to eating real food, because it can make such a massive difference to our body, our relationships, and our planet. So please check out the perks on the right-hand side of this campaign and select one or several. And if you have a perk that you think of that we don't, I'm certainly open to emails, and if I can do it, if it's in with my power and it's feasible, I would be happy to include it. But there really is something for everyone. And if you take this up, you're in good company. People like Theo Fleury, legendary hockey player, W. Brett Wilson, who is from the Dragon's Den, the business entrepreneur and philanthropist, and as I mentioned before, Mariel Hemingway, who wrote the foreword for the book. If the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it is enough. I just want to thank you for taking your time to listen to this campaign. And if you take action, an even bigger thank you. I'm sending energetic hugs to you. And I hope that the information that you get from this book will have the impact that it's had on literally thousands of lives. So that's it for now. Check out the details of the book in the next video I'll be putting up. It'll go into more detail of what's actually in the book. But for now, please feel free to check out the perks, and I'd love to see you as part of the Return to Food revolution.